Buongiorno, Paradise Panther artists. My name is Mrs. Telfer, and I'm excited to introduce you to one of the greatest artists of all time. And no, it's not just because they named a Ninja Turtle after him. His name is Michelangelo Buonarroti, and he lived over 500 years ago in Italy. He is best known as a painter, sculptor, and architect. So andiamo, artists, here we go. Okay, artists, go ahead and stand up with me. Let's pretend that we are climbing a very tall, steep ladder. Are you feeling a bit dizzy as we reach the top? Because we are more than 60 feet in the air. That's as high as a 3-story building. Whew, okay. We finally reached the top. Now, we carefully step onto a small, flat platform. Everybody step onto the platform. We can stop a moment now and catch our breath and rest after such a long climb. Now, let's tilt our heads back as far as they will go and go ahead and look up at the ceiling. Oh. Go ahead now and bend and arch your back so your head goes back even farther. Now, raise your arm above your head like you're going to paint the ceiling. You're painting the ceiling. Reach up there. Now, everybody, freeze. Michelangelo spent all his working hours in this position, just like this, for 4 long years. He even drew a little picture of himself doing just what you're doing now. You haven't held this position for even 4 minutes, but I bet you are quite uncomfortable. You may go ahead and relax and sit down now. Whew, wasn't that hard to do? I don't think I would like to do that for 4 years with my back bent and my head back as far as it can go. Michelangelo once said, "My paintbrush all the day doth drop a rich mosaic of paint on my face." I would bet that he had a very colorful face by the end of each day. And I bet he had a sore back and a strained neck too. At night, he was so exhausted that he would fall into bed with his clothes and his boots on. But what was Michelangelo working on with his paintbrush in such a difficult position? This completed artwork is one of the most amazing and famous works of art in the world. It is the huge ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Rome, Italy. I'm wondering, how do you paint such a giant, tall ceiling? Before Michelangelo climbed the ladder to begin his work, he planned and prepared for 6 months. Michelangelo painted over 300 people on the ceiling. The figures were of people from the Bible. He wanted them to look very realistic, with lots of detail, so sometimes he used real models. Let's look at a man named Jeremiah, who he included in his painting on the Sistine Chapel ceiling. This is a painting of Jeremiah. Based on how he is sitting, Jeremiah looks sad and tired. It is believed that Michelangelo used himself as a model for Jeremiah. I am thinking this might also show how tired and overwhelmed Michelangelo was from painting the ceiling. Notice how Jeremiah is a big man. Notice his size and strength. Now, let's do some I Spy and look for small, realistic details in the painting. Here, I spy his fingernails. I also spy his eyes that are closed. I spy wrinkles on his face. And I spy a white sleeve poking through. Michelangelo was a master at painting realistic details that made the people come to life. Finally, with great relief, Michelangelo declared that the Sistine Chapel was finished. He had worked on it for 4 years. People came from all over the world to see this great work. It left them staring and lost for words. The same is true today for the millions of visitors who come to see it and can't believe their eyes. But Michelangelo didn't love to paint, even as great an artist as he was. Let me show you his first love as an artist. This is not a painting. We call this a sculpture. Please say the word with me. Sculpture. Great job. A sculpture is like a statue, and it's made out of a very hard stone called marble. First and foremost, Michelangelo considered himself a sculptor. This sculpture started as such an enormous block of marble that it was named the Giant. Let's see what a giant block of marble looks like and from where it comes. This rock truly is a giant. Look at how tiny the people look next to it. This is a very special white stone that came out of the mountain. I bet this giant marble would be very hard to move. They had to haul it down the mountain with ropes and pulleys. But that name, Giant, meant something else to Michelangelo. There is a story in the Bible about a young man named David, who you see here. He goes to battle all by himself against an enemy soldier named Goliath. Goliath was known all over for being a huge, tall giant. I bet you're wondering who won the battle between David and Goliath. David did. So Michelangelo took the giant block of marble and sculpted it into David the hero. It is very large and nearly takes your breath away. It stands 17 feet tall. That's about 3 times as tall as your teacher. This sculpture of David looks so real because Michelangelo studied the human body. He studied muscles, skin, bones, everything that would help him bring a body to life from a block of cold marble. Michelangelo shows David about to go to battle with giant Goliath. His face shows intense concentration as he holds his only weapon over his shoulder, a slingshot. And could that be a frown with his eyebrows drawn down? He watches carefully with his loaded slingshot held tightly as he looks into the distance, waiting for Goliath to appear. Let's do some I Spy again and look for realistic details. Here, I spy his curly hair. I also spy the lines in his neck. I spy bones beneath the skin on his hand. You are excellent at looking for these realistic details. So our artist was a great painter and a great sculptor. But there's one more kind of art for which he is famous. Let's take a look. Michelangelo is also a famous architect. An architect is someone who designs buildings. Michelangelo was 70 years old when he was asked to design a very important large church in Rome, Italy. This church is called St. Peter's. It was a very big job, and Michelangelo worked on St. Peter's for the rest of his life. Look at the specially shaped roof of St. Peter's. It is a dome. The base is in the shape of a circle. Go ahead and make the shape of a circle with your hands. Thank you. You can put your hands down now. That was the part that interested Michelangelo the most. It is very large and very pretty, both inside and out. Let's step inside this famous church. Look at how beautiful and special it is inside St. Peter's. Notice how Michelangelo included many windows to light up the colors and the artwork. You might be wondering what the world was like in Michelangelo's lifetime. Well, between 1300 and 1600, life in Europe was exciting. It was a new age of thinking, learning, and art. It is called the Renaissance, which means rebirth, a new beginning. Explorers set out to explore the new world. Scientists were making new discoveries, and Michelangelo astonished the world with his unsurpassed artistic talents. Michelangelo, the painter, sculptor, architect, is a great master artist. It is important that we acknowledge and remember his remarkable talents and his use of so many realistic details. Okay, artists, we're going to play a little game to see if we remember Michelangelo's great talents. I will go ahead and point to a picture, and you will tell me silently, using only your hands, if you think it is Michelangelo the painter. You're going to show me your paintbrush. If you think the picture is showing Michelangelo the sculptor, you're going to show me your hammer and your chisel. If you think it is Michelangelo the architect, you're going to show me designing with paper and pencil. All right, here we go, artists. What do you think about this first picture? Right here on the left. Is it Michelangelo the painter, Michelangelo the sculptor, or Michelangelo the architect? Okay, if you said it's Michelangelo the sculptor, you got it. Great job. Okay, let's look at the next picture, the one in the middle of the dome. Do you think that shows Michelangelo the painter, the sculptor, or the architect? Show me with only your hands. Yes, it is Michelangelo, the architect, designing with paper and pencil. St. Peter's. Okay, last picture. Show me with your hands. Do you think it's Michelangelo, the painter? Is it Michelangelo, the sculptor? Or is it Michelangelo, the architect? You got it. It is Michelangelo, the painter, as he painted the Sistine Chapel. Great job, artists. You have done a great job today, Paradise Panther artists. But I'm wondering, which type of art will you be doing in your art activity next? Will it be Michelangelo the painter, the sculptor, or the architect? You will just have to wait and see. I will see you next time, Paradise Panther artists. Arrivederci.